Hi, welcome back to the Weekly Why. This week we have Parsha Pekudei. This is very exciting because we're finishing up the book of Exodus this week, and there's a couple key ideas I want to talk about. One, you'll notice the topic of this class is that Gaddafi studies Torah, and so I want to mention that obviously I'm not talking about anything political here, but I want to kind of pique your interest to see that out of all the madness that Gaddafi is doing, if we read a little bit into one of the things that he does, we can see, you know what, that's really the right approach. Even though it's a totally horrible person and everything is crazy, but kind of from one idea here that we can possibly understand that really that's similar to what the Jewish approach might be. Certainly not in this circumstance, but what in theory it might look like. So Parsha Pekudei, we have a lot, still more discussion about the construction of the tabernacle, etc. But one of the things it discusses at the end of it says these are the journeys of Israel, right? Because keep in mind, the Jews have left Egypt, they're traveling throughout the desert. This is culminating in saying this is the travel of Egypt. The last line of the entire parsha of the book of Exodus says, "For the cloud of God would be on the Mishkan, the tabernacle by day, and a fire would be on it by night, before the eyes of all the house of Israel in all their journeys." Our commentator Rashi, he says that the journeys then refers to all the journeys. It doesn't just refer to one, they're called journeys in plural because every single stop was a journey in itself. It wasn't merely a pit stop on one journey, every single journey was a journey. A few parshas ago, we saw that the Jews made 42 stops. Once again, what Rashi's saying here is that this wasn't one journey with 42 stops, these were 42 separate journeys. And so, once again, in terms of getting back to Gaddafi here, is that the whole idea is that our perspective in life should not be that it is ultimately but one end goal, and that's what we should be striving for. That's a totally wrong attitude. So what Gaddafi's talking about in terms of clinging to power is that he at least has some understanding that it's not merely a matter of, okay, the end goal, right? Okay, I want to stay in power. He stayed in power. He could have just left already. He stayed in power, he's accomplished his goal. But no, his goal is obviously to maintain in power as long as possible. It's every moment is a journey. As I said, obviously the man's a monster and everything associated with that. But the whole idea that this parsha is trying to tell us is that every single moment in life, every single interaction, every single learning opportunity we have to interact with others or anything at all is itself a journey. We read in Psalms 84, it says, talking about the righteous of Israel, it says, they go from strength to strength. It's going from one strength to another strength here. It's talking about that every moment is supposed to be an opportunity for introspection, for growth, for opportunity here. It's supposed to be a journey, and if we're not taking advantage of that, we're totally missing the boat here. So the idea and the major lesson we're supposed to take from Parsha Pekudei and about the journeys of Israel is that God could have simply, if God can do anything, God could have simply taken them in one fell swoop from Egypt to Canaan, the land of Israel. Well, why didn't he do that? There's obviously a method to that. So what's the reason? The reason is that every single one of those stops, there was a reason. There was some of the rabbis say they learned a different character development trait in each area. Every single stop that we make, there's a reason for it. And so we can't possibly know what God has in store, but the obligation for us is to, at every moment, not just with challenges when bad things happen, but when good things happen. And indeed, every day and every moment we think of it. We're supposed to reflect and stop for a moment and say, what am I supposed to be taking stock of right now? What am I supposed to be thinking about? What am I supposed to be taking from this situation? Certainly when it's something good, certainly when it's something bad, but the whole idea is that every day we should be stopping 2 minutes before we go to bed, even 30 seconds before we go to bed, and stop and think, what was the point of today? What did I learn? And how was today a journey? Not just another day, not just another 24 hours, but how was today a journey, not just towards a final goal, but how was today another moment, another feather in my cap of an experience, a rich experience that has really made me, has really made my life that much more enriched. So once again, the name of the parsha is Gaddafi Studies Torah, not because the Gaddafi is a monster in any, or not because the Torah, condones monsters in any way, but the whole idea is that the Torah says that every moment should be a journey. And so Gaddafi, crazy and bloodthirsty he may be, recognizes that every moment is really a journey in itself. Every moment he wants to hold on to power, right? It's not just a matter of having been in power. He wants to hold on to every moment. So he said the Jewish idea really is that every single moment should be a journey in itself. And so that's what we end here when it says the Jewish people had journeys, not just one, is because every little stop wasn't just a stop, it was a destination in itself. So that's a lesson for us, is that we should stop every day and even 30 seconds before we go to bed and say, how was today a different journey in itself, and how am I going to do everything I can to make tomorrow an independent, amazing day as well. That's it for Parshat Pekudei and the entire book of Exodus. Best wishes, Shabbat Shalom. God bless.